Okay, so today we're doing two packets. We are going to be doing the research methods one first. So hopefully you have both in front of you. The first page has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multiple choice questions. We're going to start off with that. So I'm going to give you about, 7 minutes. Hold on, before you start, how far did y'all get today?
Like question 60.
60? Okay.
Around
60?
Around
Okay, you need to slow down.
yeah, 70.
I mean, no problem, yay. But like, also slow down maybe a little bit. Just take time.
I didn't take my time though.
Okay.
Just like
That's how far we get today.
Around 60.
Okay, good. William?
Like 55.
Okay. Yeah, I was really hoping to not hear any like 30.
there's people that actually finish the whole entire thing.
Yeah, El Harris finished.
like
the whole thing.
like there's people that finish the whole entire thing.
Okay, all right, that's double speed time. I don't know. Okay, so about 7 minutes to work on this front page of research methods. So 7 questions, 7 minutes, go. And then we'll go over.
You're recording? Are you enjoying the silence?
All 2 people that watch it.
Who watches it?
I don't know, it just has a video count. I guess I'll find out in July when it's one. How much more time do we need on that front page? No? Good? Okay. All right. Let's go over some of these answers. All right, it says, which of the following is required for a psychological experiment? Remember, not all research methods are experiments, but all experiments are research methods. There are case studies, naturalistic observations, surveys. Experiments are different because they show causation. Do we have an answer on this first one? Say it again. D. D is in dog. I think you said B at first. I'm like, no. Precise operational definitions. Remember, operational definitions, it is like exactly what's the independent variable and the dependent variable and all the steps and procedures like laid out, defined. If I'm measuring like, does chocolate cause happiness? What do I mean by chocolate? What do I mean by happiness? Who am I studying? Exactly how do I do every single part of the experiment? Um, we do not want more than one independent variable. We don't need equipment. Longitudinal design. We don't have to have. Remember, there's longitudinal, which I basically follow the same groups of people and do the same experiment on them for like their whole life. Longitudinal is a really long time. What is the other way that I can do an experiment besides longitudinal? Do you remember the other? It's either this or that. Cross-sectional. Cross-sectional is like, I'm going to grab a whole bunch of different people of all different ages and test them all right now. All right, let's, speaking of longitudinal, let's talk about the disadvantage of longitudinal studies. Do we have an answer on this one?
Yeah.
It is B. Participants who drop out because it's longitudinal, it's over the course of many, many, many years. People could drop out, they could move, they could die. And what if all those people that dropped out, moved, or died, they are important in part of the experiment in ways that the ones that stay in are not? We have no idea. Yes, they do. On D, yes, they do. No. All right. The APA, the American Psychological Association Ethical Guidelines, are all the following except for which one? Which one does not belong?
D.
Not D.
Oh. Okay.
It is A. You cannot, okay, yes, I know that deception is part of like the ethical guidelines. You cannot deceive for no reason. You can deceive for a little bit. Like, the Stanford shocking, not Stanford prison, sorry. Stanley Milgram and his shocking experiment. If you knew that the guy in the other room that was getting shocked was just lying about it, who cares if you went all the way to the highest voltage? You know it's like fake. But it only is worth anything if they're deceived a little bit and told that they're like not part of the experiment, even though they are.
Wait, so they do have to like make sure that participants must be offered alternative activities.
If it's part of your grade.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can't force someone to be an experiment, because then it's not voluntary. It has to be voluntary.
Okay.
Even though when I was in college and took a psych class, 10% of our grade was participating in experiments. But it's like, if you don't do that, then you have to write like a research paper for like 50 pages. It's like, no one wants to really do that. So, all right. Research psychologist generalizes from the particular sample to the entire population. What is the answer on that one?
Is it D?
No. So D, the sample is not right. D is not right, but I wanted to define stratified sampling. The sample matches the population with every characteristic. So let's say that if my population is Palma High School, let's just say that 52% of Palma High School is female, and the other 48% is male, then I need to have my group also, my sample also represent that same breakdown. Same thing with like race and age. It needs to be the same breakdown. So that is not the correct answer. generalizes.
That's what it said.
You said D.
No, I said statistical dependence.
Oh, you're generalizing, you're inferring about the whole group. And so statistical inference means you're guessing, you're making a like, oh, well, if my sample was like this, I can infer that the rest of the group is probably like that or not like that or whatever. And so to generalize means that you're coming to some sort of conclusion, you're using inference and inferring from the rest of the group. Let me define random sample. Remember, random means that like equally selected, equal chance to be selected from the population. That's what random sampling is. Descriptive statistics just describes behavior. It doesn't try to guess what other people do. It just is telling you what the sample is doing. So like in our research, did you know that 50 or 70% of the people that are researched are blonde? I don't know. But that's not trying to make a guess by the population. That's just like saying how your group just describing your group. All right, this last one on the bottom left, which is following research approaches would be best for testing the hypothesis that the presence of certain odors causes people to gamble more. First off, what is the key word here in this question? Cause. And which one can show cause? Only experiments. Only experiments can. All right, back to number 5. In normal distribution, which of the following statements is true about the area that falls between 1 standard deviation above and 1 standard deviation below the mean? Okay, so that's this thing. You know what? Come on in. Okay, we'll get back to this question really quick. To answer this question, Jacob, one of each.
We're here. Mr.
Okay.
Bailey needs us to host for a test. And
That's
when
fine.
I'm done with that, I'm joining.
That's fine.
I'm going to grab that.
Okay, I'm going to scroll here. I want you guys to do this too. I want you to go to this page right here. We're going to answer this question by filling this out. Okay, this is a little nice normal distribution, standard distribution curve. And so this right here represents the mean, median, and mode. Mean being the average, mode being the most occurring, and then the median is if you line it up in numerical order, it's the one smack dab in the middle. And so that's going to be right here in the middle. This is 1 standard deviation. Ooh, I said 1 and then I wrote number 2. 1 standard deviation above, 2 standard deviations above, 3 standard deviations above. 1 standard deviation below, 2 standard deviations below, 3 standard distributions below. Okay, what percentage of people fall between 1 standard deviation and the mean? 68%. Okay, I have seen this question. Not that hard of a question though. And it was saying, what percentage of people fall 1 standard deviation above? So 1 standard deviation around the mean, it goes -1, +1, this whole range. But a standard deviation above the mean is just this section. So how would you figure out the math for this section? You divide it by 2. Oh my God, what am I doing? You divide it by 2. Okay. Oh, jeez. Stop. How many people are between 2 standard deviations? 95% of people, and 99.7 is 3 standard deviations. 99.7. So basically everybody. Not everybody, but basically everybody. We don't ever say 100% because we haven't tested everybody. So we don't know if there's someone with an IQ, for example, that's like so off the charts that they don't count towards everybody. Okay, so now with that being said, 68, 95, 97, on number 5, back on the front, it says the area that falls between 1 standard deviation above and 1 standard deviation below is going to be the one that says contains the middle 68% of the distribution, which is letter D. So that's right here. And last but not least on this page, it says researchers find that in general, the higher the higher an incoming college student scores on a given test, the higher the student's GPA. What best describes this relationship? So more of grades, higher GPA. What type of relationship is that? That's a positive correlation. All right, so normal distribution is this normal curve. Skewed distribution is like that. Positive correlation is like this. Negative correlation is like that. So positive correlation has an upward sloping curve. Negative correlation is a downward sloping curve. Normal distribution is that normal curve that we just filled out with the 68, 95, 97. And skewed could be positively skewed or negatively skewed. Really quickly, just to make sure we know the difference. This one right here, is this a positive or negative skew? It's a negative skew. Because it's about where the tail is. So there's like one negative score, and then everyone else has really high scores. So that negative skew, that one negative score, skewed the entire average. And same thing here. This is a positively skewed graph because you have like one positive number, one positive like result that skews the rest of the curve.
Are there usually questions about that?
And that's why we're going over it. Okay, flip to the back. Silly lady. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, 5 questions. Multiple choice here on the back. I'll give you about 5 minutes to work on the next page. Whenever you get to a stopping point on that page, share your answers with people next to you. See if we're getting the same stuff or totally different stuff. Nelson page.
Hey! Taylor,
What's up?
I'm still kind of bitter over the fact that you didn't let us be partners.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll get over it.
And we still saw Kate who didn't show up in class today because she had an AP test, and some guy who just like got here this semester to the school.
No, who does not pay attention in class?
No, he already took psychology the first semester and is always doing it.
What's up with that?
but probably forgot.
But it's not like.
I hope he doesn't watch this.
Still will be in your group.
Yeah. And then
Okay,
get it over.
let's go over 26, 27. Here we have a whole bunch of different exam grades. It says which one is the mode that's the most occurring. What's the correct answer here? 5, yeah. Just maybe make a tally mark or something so you don't skip over it. The median. Before you figure out the median grade or the median score, what do you have to do first? Put them all up in order. So it's like 1, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 10. And then you have to do the smack dab in the middle, and it's 6. Okay, what if you have, this is an odd number of numbers, because 6 is right here in the middle. You got 4 on this side and 4 on this side. But what if you have an even number of numbers? You average the two middle ones. So let's say that we have 1 less 10. So now 5 and 6 are smack dab in the middle. There's not like a number that's in the middle. So 5.5 would be the median there because you'd have to have the average between those two. All right. On a test, the mean score for the class, the average for the class was 100. Wait, no, that's not right. The average for a class of 100 students is 80. The standard deviation is 10. So what I'm going to actually do for funsies, the average was an 80. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Standard deviation is 10, which means that this is 80. Ooh, okay. Math is hard. 90, 100. I guess there was a bonus because the highest grade could be 110 maybe. 70, 60, 50. All right. The professor who gave the test realized she made a scoring error. Who makes errors when you make a test? Like keying things wrong. Who does that? Which corrects by adding 5 points to everyone's score. The standard deviation now is still 10. Because if we're adding 5 points to everyone, that just makes these numbers go up all by 5, but they're still going up together, so the space between them all is the same. Like the space does not change. The only way that this would change is if, I don't know, she only gave 5 points to half the class or something. If it was only a mistake on one test, test A made a mistake, but not test B, and she's like giving those points to half the class or something, then it would change the average and change the standard deviation. But it's not. It's changing the range, but it's not changing the standard deviation. All right. A researcher is trying to determine whether a new pain-killing medicine is effective in reducing headaches. All right, so the independent variable, you don't need to tell me this, but I'm going to write it out anyway. The independent variable is the medicine, pain-killing medicine. What's the dependent variable? What is the pain-killing meds going to affect? Yes, the severity of the headaches. All right. 20 adult participants sit in a noisy environment for 30 minutes and then rate the severity of their headaches on a scale of 0 to 5, with 5 being the most intense. Group M, the medicine group, PS, medicine group. This is your, what group is that? Experimental group. I wish I didn't say control, but obviously that's control group. Control group C, a group M, the medicine group receives a normal dose of the medicine. Group C, the control group, rests quietly. After 20 minutes, all the participants again complete the headache rating scale. The statistically statistically significant. Let's define that really quick. To be statistically significant, 95% of results not due to chance. Or you can say 5% of the results are due to chance. So that's what it means to be statistically significant. That number does not change. 95% not due to chance is with the definition of statistically significant. It's not just like that number, you gotta have that in your head. Okay, so it says which of the following is the independent variable? We just discovered that. It is the pain-killing meds. So it's gonna be B, the medicine. Really quickly, how do they operationally define the dependent variable? How do they define severity of headaches? 1 through 5, on a scale of 1 through 5. So scale of 1 through 5. Oh no, 0? 0. Oh my God. 0 through 5.
I'm Maria.
You're Maria. I love you.
We've got it.
I know. This is like a candy.
This morning.
Enjoy some candy. I mean, there you go, Maria.
Hey,
Okay.
you missed the
You better give her the candy. Good job, Maria, for getting that question right. And last but not least, 71. Which of the following statements is supported by the results of this experiment? All right, let's look through each of these. The severity of headaches diminished among the group that received the medicine, whereas the severity of the headaches for the control group remained unchanged. No, look at the chart. They went down for both the medicine group and the control, so it's not it. The group showed equivalent decreases in the severity of headaches. They both went down, but not by the same amount. There was a massive jump for medicine, less of a jump for control. The medicine was more effective in reducing the severity of headaches? Yes. The medicine group had a lower bar, but it was not eliminated. The medicine did not eliminate the headaches, otherwise it would be 0. But they still are on like 1. And to say it's not effective, no. Look at the bar chart. Speaking of bar chart, what's another way to say bar chart? Okay, what's another way to say that? Starts with an H. Popped up on the AP test a few years ago. It was like, draw a blank, and people lost their minds because they didn't know what a blank was. Histogram. A histogram is a bar graph. A histogram is not a line graph. You couldn't have drawn a line graph or a pie graph or whatever it would be. It's a histogram. Okay. Oops, hello. We already did that. All right. We're going to kind of do this together. We're not going to do the entire FRQ and then talk about it. We're just going to talk. I'm going to talk about like keywords that you would have said. So, the part A, it says explain how each of the following plays a role in eating behavior. First thing, talk to people next to you. How does drive reduction theory affect eating behavior? What keywords would you have to say to get points here? Yeah. Okay, does anybody know a key word that should have said for drive reduction theory? Homeostasis. If you don't say homeostasis, chances are you're not getting it right. Homeostasis is that we have some sort of biological, physiological need that drives us to satisfy that need. So if we're thirsty, we'll drink water. If we are cold, we'll put a jacket on. If we're hot, we'll take our jacket off. So if we're hungry, we will eat. Okay, external cues.
Sorry, do you have the other one?
Talk to a friend about what external cues would do to affect your eating behavior.
Yeah, and it's like lunchtime.
Oh yeah, like it's that.
External has to be outside of yourself. You cannot say because you're hungry. That's pretty internal. Hey, you can say lots of different things to get this answer correct. You could say time of the day. Hey, it's lunchtime. Or just the mere presence of food, just having food out on the counter, and you're more likely to eat it than if you have like a cookie jar that's in the pantry. And so time of day, just the mere presence of food. Did anyone have something about external cues they're not quite sure? It's like, I said this, but I'm not sure. Okay. What about dopamine in the reward center? Talk to each other about dopamine in the reward center and how that affects your.
Does sugar make you produce dopamine?
Certain things like give you a burst of
Because
dopamine.
like, isn't sugar like you get addicted to sugar and addiction releases dopamine?
Yes. But chocolate increases like your dopamine levels. Okay. All right. What is the reward center of our brain? The hypothalamus. So you can say the hypothalamus, when we eat food, because that's one of the 4 F's is food, we get a little boost of dopamine. Because food is good, food keeps us alive, and our body is rewarding us with a little burst of dopamine when we eat something. So we're more likely to eat it later. Nyla, we okay back there? I know, it's really sad talking about all this dopamine. So sad. Okay. And last but not least, Morgan, tell us about observational learning. If you see someone eat, what might you do? You might eat. Okay. So you can talk about modeling. You could see others eat, and therefore you eat. But it could be really specific. You could say like, the mom models eating her vegetables so that the children are likely to try vegetables because they are seeing it modeled.
You're an only child.
If you're an only child.
Like if you have an almond mom.
No, she's like
you're
granola child.
Oh,
No, that's the thing.
yeah.
Granola children?
Granola children, or like the, what is it, ingredients only pantries? Like there's no
Yeah.
creative
Those
food.
kids are always the saddest. They're always like begging you.
Yeah. Okay. Part B. By the way, this would all be one FRQ. Just let you know, it's not like one or the other. You do both. Let me read to you. A study is conducted to investigate the role of framing on concern for healthy eating. Remember what framing is?
You like
95%.
It's like how you pose the idea, how you talk about it. Okay. Each participant, there's n number of participants, so that n equals 100 tells you how many people are in the whatever it is. Each participant was randomly assigned to one of 2 conditions. In the first conditions, participants read an article indicating that obesity is a disease. Participants in the second condition read an article indicating that obesity is a result of personal behaviors and decisions. Participants were then asked to indicate how important it is for them to eat a healthy diet. Scores range from 1, not very important, to 9, very important. The results were presented in the table below. So here is the group 1, group 2. Here is the average from 1 to 9. The highest, the more important like eating is and healthy, and then the standard deviation. All right, operationally define the dependent variable. So what was the independent variable first? What are they manipulating? The article that they read. The article. What did the article affect?
Score.
Their score of what?
How important eating is.
Right. So the score of how important healthy eating is. Okay, I feel like we're about to be really redundant right now, but how did they operationally define healthy eating? On a scale of 1 to 9. And so they defined the dependent variable is the score from 1 to 9. Your ranking of how important it is healthy eating. What makes this study experimental rather than correlational? What makes this an experiment? Say it again. Experimental group and control group. Well, I guess there's no control, but there's they were randomly assigned to two groups. Random assignment to either group. Hey, quickly, what's the difference between random selection and random assignment?
Random selection is like you randomly select people to be in your an assignment is assignment.
Yes. Yeah. So like if there's my population is 100 people, I might grab 10 of them randomly, names out of a hat, to be part of my experiment. So that's gonna be random sampling to take a little sample, and then I have to break them those 10 people, 5 into the control and 5 to experimental group. So like maybe flip a coin, and that would be random assignment. And last but not least, what is the most appropriate conclusion the researchers can draw about the relationships between the variables in the study? What can we say? What type of research method is this? So what can the conclusion be? What word would you have to use? Cause. Reading this article, you can say either one. Reading the disease article will cause you to be less caring about your healthy eating. Or reading the article about behavior causes you to think it's more important. But you have to use the word cause. Because it's an experiment, because there's random assignment to groups. Okay. Let's finish this packet up with one last FRQ practice. All right. So a researcher, I used to give this out on the very first test. I don't do this one anymore, but I used to. A researcher designs an experiment to study the effect of an audience on individual college students during their performance of a difficult manual dexterity task. He will assign 20 students to each of two conditions. In one, the students will use a pair of tweezers to place the small cubes of wood into a box, which has a tiny opening at the top, while being observed by an audience of 30 peers. In the second condition, a different set of volunteers will perform the task with no audience present. All participants will have 30 seconds to place as many cubes of wood into the box as possible. The researchers hypothesized that the group that performs the task with no audience present will outperform the group in which is in front of the audience. Okay, and then you have to identify all of these. Welcome. Okay, now we have to identify all of these. Okay, A. Discuss the issue of operational definitions in the study. You can talk about how they operationally defined the independent or dependent variable. Talk about A with a friend. How could you use operational definitions in this study? Or how do they use? Okay, do we have anybody that wants to take a shot at A? How to use operational definitions here?
I said outperform. Like is outperform less stress or more cubes in the box?
How did they say outperform? What do you think that they're measuring it on?
Like cubes in the box.
How many? Right, how many they got it. And so outperform, where is that word?
Online.
Yes. Outperform means more, like, okay, the number of cubes transferred. Obviously, more means outperformed. You could have also used defining a manual dexterity task. A difficult manual dexterity task. What is that task? Oh, the task is to use tweezers to move wooden blocks into another box. So, moving cubes into box with tweezers. Right? There's tweezers? And I just make that up.
Yeah, it's with tweezers. Students would use a pair of tweezers to place small cubes. It's like
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I just wrote through it. All right, you could have said either of them. For B,
Could you also say define audience? Like what is the?
oh,
what is
yeah,
the
an audience is exactly 30 peers. Not 31, not 29. The audience is defined as 30 peers. So you have a little bit of flexibility answering this one. I don't think you're going to have too much flexibility with the rest of the questions, but that one gives you flexibility. On B, discuss appropriate procedures for choosing and assigning participants. Okay, so what's the key word here? To select and assign. What is the word before select and assign? Random. So random, you have to give examples. You could say names in a hat. Okay? Names. So I'll say put all names of population in a hat. Choose to have random selection. And then for assignment, flip a coin to randomly assign into groups. So you need both parts, the random like selection and the random assignment. So put all names of population into a hat, choose to have random selection, flip a coin to randomly assign between two groups. All right, C. Who's the experimental group? Not the audience.
The group with the audience.
The group with the audience. What about control group?
no audience group.
Yeah, group with no audience. What's the independent variable? What is it? What is the thing that they are manipulating? Whether the audience is there or not. So the audience is the independent variable. What about the dependent variable?
Performance of task.
Define it though. Like use like the words that they're saying. What is the audience of the group going to affect?
How many cubes?
How many cubes? Like the number of cubes transferred. On G, it says some possible confounding variables. Talk to a friend about some confounding variables. Remember, confounding variables are things that would influence the number of cubes that are transferred without it being the audience. Something other than the audience that would affect people's ability to move cubes around. Okay, give me some confounding variables, things that would mess up the number of cubes. Time of day, maybe it's really late in the night, people are really tired and falling asleep. Time of day. What else?
Sleep.
That.
How much sleep they have gone.
Okay, if they're rested. What about like hungry? What about like what if they have like what's it called? Shaky shake. That's what I said. What's it called?
I don't know. No, the
Oh.
Tourette.
No.
Parkinson's.
It could be Tourette's.
Yeah, if you or Tourette's. Cubes. They.
If they're different, even.
Yeah, yes, maybe there's some sort of hand disability. Oh, maybe they're really caffeinated and they're super shaky.
All the women in my family start to shake it like
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right, and letter F. No, just kidding. Letter H. How do you control for experimenter bias? There's only one answer here. Double blind procedure. Letter F, double blind. All right. That was not too shabby. Let's move on to the next packet, the social psychology packet. Morgan's excited. I can just feel the energy.
Or was that the Thursday that?
That was Thursday, got read out.
But there's a video. But is there a video?
There's a video, but it's not of this. It I used to just lecture. So it's a video lecture. Those are the notes.
That's what I need to watch.
You're welcome. Yeah, on Wednesday, we're going over cognition. Yeah. Oh no, y'all are leaving.
Oh no, don't worry, we're here.
Hooray. Thanks for my drink, by the way.
I got pulled over.
Did you really? I told you to drive safe. No, you didn't. Okay.
That lasted all 2 seconds.
I'm a second.
It just
took me
really long.
You gave up so easily.
Wow. Because I literally told her I came in before 7, and I was hypothetically how much would I be back in 20 minutes? Because usually I can get home go to Dutchford, drive to school, home in 20.
Wow. That's a
But
big turnaround.
it's because I'm in the classroom right next to the library, so I'm out of here. And I was she's like, yes, but drive safe. I'm gonna just message her. Yeah.
You didn't want her to be disappointed in you.
Yeah, she's like, really? And I was like,
No, psych.
We'll get you. When's your next tutoring? Wednesday?
Yeah.
We'll get you some Dutch then. Wednesday? Actually, I don't know if
Doing
we
with cognition.
what do you like?
Wednesday. I'll be cool.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Tell me your order. Pause the video. Tell me.
Is this tea?
This is anything we can get coffee, Rebels.
Get creative.
This is a Red Bull with strawberry.
Oh, that's
This is
disgusting.
no.
can-
They
they
have
have
actually
tea.
really
They
good.
have tea.
I don't like tea.
Oh.
Can I just have a cappuccino?
They don't have.
It's all iced.
It's all
no,
ice.
No, it's not. No.
Wait.
She asked me if I wanted my energy drink.
No, it's ice or blended.
Oh.
They do ice or
Oh,
blended.
I was like,
Okay, I'll look at the menu. I'll come back. Okay.
Nice
So,
hot Red Bull.
social psychology. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions on the front page. I'll give you about 5 minutes to work on those 6 questions.
I got my Rebel.
Go, go, go. Yes, lock in. Morgan, lock in.
No, wait. No.
Oh, well, I was sitting here for getting some answers.
Yeah.
Miss Taylor, what was the curve on the walking exam last year? Around? Is it a lot of points? Or is it 10 points or 2 points?
You answer that. I'll get your. You.
I already finished.
You know what? Who did I give him mock papers last year? Hold on.
Oh, can I confirm my drawing for this project?
Between 5 and 10 points.
Okay.
Someone told me that you are being finished.
We did.
So
We're gonna go back and chat.
Oh, down.
Well, we have all day tomorrow. Okay. Who told you that? You're sick.
Don't worry about it.
Oh. It was Bella.
No problem.
We finished, but we skipped 10 minutes.
So she
Go
didn't
back to
finish.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we got 90%.
Is it as bad as you thought it was gonna be?
Well, he didn't really.
That was second.
I was like that.
Okay.
Did you tell Mr. J?
Oh, 100%. I was like, so how was Elle today? He's like, she was mad. I was like, yeah, that's my bad.
How are you guys running this stuff?
Yeah. Well, I asked. I was like, how was Elle today? I was like, did you have her after lunch? He's like, yeah. I was like, is she still like having a voodoo doll in my face? Okay. Stanley Milgram. Shocking Stanley. Obedience. The experiment requires that you must continue. So what's the answer here? D. Yay. Most people will follow authority figures. This is just like, do you know that experiment, what it's referring to? Let's go over here to the physical attractiveness one. Yes. Desirable personality characteristics are often attributed to good-looking people. People tend to judge good-looking people as just like better in every way. So, oh, they're smarter too, and they're nice just because they're good-looking. Yeah. All right. According to the fundamental attribution error, which of the following is most likely to be a student's explanation for a classmate's failing exam grade? So remember, personality is greater than environment according to this error. The error is we put too much weight on personality. So which one is the only one that is blaming the personality? A. You were just lazy. All the other ones are environment. Environment. Okay. In the experiments with Solomon Asch, the tendency for group members to conform was reduced most by one of the following factors. So we're looking for something to reduce conformity, something that makes people not conform. Do we have an answer? Do we know what dissenter means?
Yeah, someone who like stands out.
Yeah, a dissenter is someone who does not conform. So if there is a single dissenter, if there's a person who doesn't conform, that will reduce the likeliness that you will conform, because now it's like, well, not everyone's going along with it. Look at this guy. All right. Diffusion of responsibility. What case study are we talking about here?
The lady who got killed in New York.
What's her name? Kitty. What else is diffusion of responsibility called? Bystander effect. The correct answer is C. A person who is alone while witnessing an emergency is more likely to help than if they were part of a group. A group, they're less likely to help because they believe someone else is going to help instead. Marissa is a good tennis player whose performance seemed to improve as the crowd gets larger. Best explanation is C. Social facilitation. What is the opposite of social facilitation?
Social inhibition.
Social inhibition. Okay. What?
I drew a tennis racket.
That is, yes, good job. All right, next página. Página means page in Espanol, which is Spanish for Spanish. All right.
Not even really.
1, 2, 3, 4 questions. I'll give you 4 minutes to do 4 questions. Go.
I won't look.
Oh, this
You get it. It's good.
It's not bad. It's just the whole point of like making do some tricks. Like I shouldn't be able to see that word because they're in front of it, but they think I can see this.
I know, that's why it's missing from the middle part of it. It's such an
Oh.
egocentrism. I know.
I can't spell.
So, but
No, that's great.
okay, right?
Yeah. I'm an idiot.
Can we does it have to be like something different that's like not already on the walls? Like what if I
Perhaps, yes.
Dang it, they're just. I think this one has the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, there it is.
Don't they got like 4 of those now? I thought there was more. Before you like moved around the room, I swear there was like another one. Or didn't you like realize that one's like the exact copy of like?
Oh my god, Slade, this one is on the on the mock test.
Oh, which one? Oh, this first one. Let me lock in. According to social psychologists, which one here?
Is that like at the end of the
Oh, yes.
test? Beginning?
It's like question like 20. Well, no, they have a different order.
Oh. Yeah, we have different tests. We're talking
Hold on.
You got the
Wait, the
correlation.
about tests are different?
Sure.
Could you go over the part of the brain that connects the brain and body?
Yes,
Yeah,
can you please go over
Please
the
talk
whole
about this
brain?
years.
Like the middleman.
The brain. Okay, fine, medulla.
I thought the
No, sorry.
Yeah.
No, the medulla does.
Oh,
but
oh.
misinformation
breath.
effect right there.
Yeah.
Isn't that
100%.
breath and heartbeat?
Yes. It's the.
But is it the hypo? It's because I thought it was hypothalamus because I confused thalamus.
It's the thalamus.
Yeah, but thalamus is in there.
choice.
Oh, gotcha.
Then you
It
must be misremembering the question.
No,
No.
it was medulla, hypothalamus.
It was the core.
The
It's like the thing
cerebellum.
that connects both brains.
Yeah,
And it just says that connects the brain and the body.
yeah.
I would say, okay, if that's my choice, then medulla is the lowest part of the brainstem.
That's a mean question.
I didn't make it. Answer,
Did
dear College Board.
Oh.
You suck.
Yeah.
That's a mean question.
You're mean.
You're a bully.
So there's a quiz out there. Things on it.
Okay. According to social, are we ready for the back camera?
Yes.
Okay. According to social psychologists, which of the following characteristics makes people least likely to develop a lasting romantic relationship? Yes.
I got that right. I got it right.
People that are very different from each other do not, opposites attract. No, they do not. Yeah.
Who was this? You and Mr. Taylor.
We're like the same.
What fucking sheet of ballet?
But what about like?
I'm not even gonna say that. Never mind.
We're the same.
Real time. I never remember.
I don't.
You don't have, like, you should know.
I don't know. I was elitist. Like
Elitist.
I've actually seen like one interaction.
That's it.
Slightly.
They all are similar when you're in a room together. But, like,
No, actually, it's right because in Skater Boy they don't actually end up dating. But everyone.
Bria, what's your question?
Oh no. Bella Vito did. I can't ask it.
Okay.
No.
Lisa is a college English major. She believes all math majors are analytical, logical, and serious. She's like, oh, they're all the same. All of those math majors are all the same. The correct answer is
I'll grow up much near you guys.
yes, because this literally means homogen.
Homo is the same.
Homo means same. Okay, hey, group polarization. This is like your beliefs get stronger. In-group bias is to favor one's own group.
So that would be the opposite.
Well, that's just like,
Like they were.
I love me, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Stereotype threat, I think it was on a Quizlet. Maybe we didn't talk about it in class. It is when people are doing something and they're very aware that they're fitting into the stereotype about them. And they are like, oh God. So like, trying to think. Oh, yes. I'm a middle-aged white woman. Here I am, drinking my Stanley. Oh God. And then it's like, oh God, people.
I looked at myself in the mirror today. I was like, oh.
It's like whenever you
Becoming
make a
a
really
white
bad turn, you're like, I'm improving.
Like I am the bad driver for a girl. Yes, it's like I'm worried. Whatever. I'm worried.
Have you ever used that saying?
I'm the stereotype.
I'm just
What?
a girl.
I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think of that saying? It's like psychoanalytic or something.
Like I think you're on a different TikTok than I am.
What are you on?
Man versus like a bear.
Bear.
I don't know. Oh, I saw a really funny TikTok.
Was
It
it?
was like a bear like rubbing up on a tree. Like the bear after like realizing.
No, I think
maybe
she's talking
take
about
over.
the man. Like, would you rather be alone? In
No,
the
I
woods
know,
or
but
Yeah, we're
it's-
talking
yeah,
about
that's It's
She
Wait,
knows.
I'll find it. Oh, okay.
She'll
Okay.
find it.
Hey, look at all of the people that didn't do anything, but that one person, they helped. What is this? Thank you. Okay. Reciprocity norm. I help you, you help me. De-individuation is like you lose self-restraint in a crowd. A social trap is a conflict. Remember, it was 5 points versus 1 point on the test, and y'all all picked 5 points, and so no one got any points. That's a social trap.
I didn't. I sacrificed myself.
I didn't. I put
And all for nothing. All right. Last multiple choice question. We have in the Stanley Milgram's classic Studies of Obedience, teachers in a staged experiment were instructed to administer shocks to learners when they made mistakes. A large percentage of the teachers obeyed the experimenter and administered strong levels of shock to the learners. When this experiment was described, most people judged the obedient participants as aggressive, cold, and unappealing, and they failed to recognize the role of social forces in behavior. This mistake in judgment is due to what? Do we have an answer? What? It is fundamental attribution error. Like, it is saying that there were just really bad people. Like, all of its characteristics are the internal personality, and they forget to fail social forces like the environment. Remember, groupthink, this is Chili's. Chili's.
Oh yeah, that's the chili answer.
Okay. We are going to be
Where y'all going?
doing, well, they're not with me. We're going to be doing the back one to get as much bang for our buck as possible.
Good question. What's altruism? What do you mean?
Altruism.
It's doing something good without like expecting anything in return.
Yeah,
Okay.
unselfish regard for others.
And then what is it badly remembering?
Hearing.
Yeah, but what does that have to do? Oh, here the can's not good.
Yes.
Picture y'all.
Social psychology one is very
Donating all your
backside.
money to a good cause for literally no reason.
Very backside.
Yeah, I feel like it's like not
Like
nice.
second page.
This is stupid.
Second page.
The back.
The FRQ.
Yeah. Why? Because we've done everything else.
Well,
All right. Bye, children. And then
Bye,
Stay for the
Mom.
whole thing.
We were here for the whole thing. Y'all just got here.
Pay attention. We got pulled up over.
liar. Hey. That's fine.
You press
Okay.
You get paid.
The people know.
We'll do one bullet point at a time.
I have a question.
Hello.
Would you say that, like, say hypothetically, if like you were getting like a sugar daddy to like pay for all your stuff, would that be drug reduction?
No.
What would you say it would be?
Fine, fruit it.
No.
Um,
Would it be arousal? No. Would it be? Not what are the other ones?
I feel like that's incentive. That's like external.
Instinct.
No, not instinct, incentive.
But what if like that's not that? What if you're like really really pretty, but like you're homeless and you're like this?
Wait, that wasn't an option.
Oh.
I guess I haven't hit
But
that question.
you're confirming it would be drug reduction.
Hypothetically.
So paying for all your bills.
I don't know. I have to see what my options are. It's not the best option, but that might be the best of what I've given.
It's not arousal.
wait.
Unless she's like.
The FRQ. What are we saying? Same.
Yes. Okay. Ladies, focus. Okay. Sam and his young son Hugo wanted to make some sandwiches, but Sam realized they did not have any bread, so they decided to go to the store. He memorized a list of groceries he needed: bread, potato chips, soup, mustard, ice cream, ham, and napkins. While shopping in the crowded store, he heard a crash as a large display of stacked cans was knocked over near them. After seeing that other shoppers in the store walked around the mess, Sam made sure that Hugo worked with him to help clean it up. When they were ready to check out, Sam showed Hugo how to use the self-checkout lane, and Hugo was able to scan the last 3 items on his own. When Sam got home from the store, he realized he forgot the mustard. Oh no! Explain how the following relate to the scenario. Bystander effect.
Could you say like
No one.
because everybody was there, then they all saw that he had forgotten the mustard.
Not forgot the mustard.
The thing knocked over.
No one was walking around. This dude's forgetting mustard. Look at him. What an idiot.
No one picked up.
No one picked up the cans. So people walked by. No one picked up the cans.
So on the actual FRQ, we said this scenario demonstrates the bystander effect because no one picked up the cans.
In a large group, in a group setting. Because there was the diffusion of responsibility. I mean, the more you can write about it, the better.
I don't have the hands in the capacity.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Basilar membrane. Anyone remember what this part of the body is?
It's in the brain.
No.
No.
It's in the head, but it's not in the brain.
Is it spine?
Cut the
No.
cans. Cut the cans.
Could it be?
Part of the.
The ear.
It is part of the
Oh,
ear.
shoot.
Tell me more.
Oh wait.
It's part of the ear. That's literally all you need to know.
Was it the one that
No.
No, it's part of the ear. It surrounds the cochlea, I think. Okay,
I was
remember?
gonna say near the cochlea.
What's that gonna do?
When we went over sensation and perception the other day in class, I brought it up and I was like, I have beef with the basilar membrane because it showed up on an AP test one time
Oh,
in
and
FRQ.
Oh,
This is the FRQ that it showed up on.
No way.
This is the one that people were like, what's basilar membrane? I'm like, honestly, I've never heard of it. We opened up a textbook. It wasn't anywhere. It wasn't even in the glossary.
Not even-
And now, yeah. So, it's part of the ear. And where do they need an ear?
They heard.
They heard. It helped them hear. It helped them hear the cans falling. What about altruism? What is altruism?
Doing something good with nothing expected in return.
And how does that apply to the scenario?
They picked it up with not caring.
Yeah, Sam and Hugo. Sam and Hugo helped pick up cans. And they, out of the goodness of their heart, they didn't expect anything back. It was an unselfish good deed. That's what altruism is. An unselfish.
Would you have to say the words specifically in each response?
Do you want to get college credit?
Probably.
Yeah, you say the words.
Okay.
That is the bare minimum. Even if you don't know what you're talking about, at least use the words that they're telling you.
Okay.
Okay, superposition effect.
They forgot the middle of the list.
They forgot the middle of the list, and the mustard is right there smack dab in the middle. And so they forgot mustard because it was in the middle of the list.
Oh my god.
You too, Morgan. Focus.
She's
blocked it.
She's not eating.
A whole Reese's?
I had a long day, bro.
Been there.
We're actually
Okay. Erickson's stage of autonomy versus shame and doubt.
They scanned the thing.
He
Okay. He let Sam or Hugo did it himself. He scanned.
The items are something.
But wouldn't you have to say that he didn't feel confident and that
No, he wouldn't feel confident if he was never allowed to do it. He feels
How
confident.
does that make it so that he would forget it? How does that explain how you would forget mustard?
That's your position effect.
That's a
We're on the
different
next
one.
one.
But I'm saying we have to use the shame and doubt stage to explain why they would have forgotten mustard.
No.
Why they didn't get the mustard.
No. Where does it say that we have to tie this in with mustard?
Explain the following to relate the scenario.
Any part of the scenario, the whole thing. Which part is this about? Oh, Hugo, he scanned the item himself,
No, stop.
So he felt confident.
Put it down.
so he gained. You be quiet. Gained confidence in his ability.
That's it.
Yes.
That's
Okay. All right. Drive reduction. Nyla, drive reduction. What term starts with an H, goes along with drive reduction? Homeostasis.
See, I told you I'm locked in.
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, how does that relate? I'm very
They're hungry.
Okay.
They need to eat. To
Oh.
live.
He,
need the bread.
They need to make sandwiches to eat.
okay,
and
he
survive.
was hungry. They were hungry. So they were motivated to go to the store and buy food.
That's good.
Yes.
You're not gonna get it. Stop.
Oh, can you check my binder?
Tomorrow.
Please, I need my hundo.
Stop it. You're not gonna get it.
When she says it, it's gonna be great. Like, I'm gonna Zelda proximity.
Girl, you can't say it.
Wait.
Okay.
Does my grade go down if I get?
Yes. Okay. Let me pull up all of your grades, which I have memorized in my head, and then do quick calculations of maybe possible grade.
Why
No.
don't you go into Grape Road?
Nyla, do you know someone approximately development? Okay. On every AP test, they throw in a bullet point that you will probably you're not going to know. Just admit to that. Just know that you're going to get it wrong. This was the one that I would say that I would have gotten this wrong. Here's what I wrote. Zone of proximal development. Hugo will learn something specific from the scenario due to being helped by someone who is more knowledgeable.
What?
So
I have a
you have to I made a very generic answer. You would have to put something more specific. Like Hugo will learn something, like how to stand in line, how to bag groceries,
Like how to scan the.
how to scan the thing, how to put the cans back so they don't fall over again. He will learn something because he was around someone who knew that thing. And it's kind of like modeling it, but just like,
Would you have to say he's around Sam?
yeah, by being around Sam. He learned something specific to the scenario because he was around Sam. Okay, any other questions, comments, thoughts, ideas? We did not do this middle one here,
Oh no.
and apparently neither did I because I stopped here at D. I'm done.
Okay, I need to practice for brain and ear and hopefully.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me turn this off.
Bye guys.
Bye.